how much space does a primary bath or master bath require? Most new homes are built for couples and have 2 sinks to begin with. But what about other features? Keep watching to discover what fixtures you want to consider for a primary bath and learn how much area is required for small to medium houseplans. By learning common dimensions, presented here, you will get a good idea of how to lay out a space that works well without wasting square footage. Take note that it's easier to adjust the floor plan with more space. However, less space well planned will feel much more comfortable and be more affordable than rooms that are wastefully too large. So for today, what we'll do is take a look at 3 different houses, 3 different layouts for primary bathrooms. And the first one we'll start with is the Corona model here, which you see is about a 1,600 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house. And then we have our Brentwood model, which is about a 2,000 square foot house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2.5 bathrooms. And then we have our large Oceanside model, which is about 26 or 700 square feet. And it has 4 bedrooms and 4.5 bathrooms. So let's start with our Corona model here. So first we'll take a look at the overall house plan and open this plan up here. Here we go. And if you've watched some of the other videos where I use this house plan, you'll be familiar with this a little bit. But I'm going to go in closer to our primary bathroom here. And let's take a look at what features we've put in here. We have a double vanity, 2 sinks, 2 mirrors, light fixtures. Of course, you can kind of finish out these things in any kind of detail that you want to. You could have a mirror that goes all the way across. You could have light fixtures in the ceiling instead of on the wall. But this is just an example to get you an idea of what kind of space we're working with. In a moment, we'll take a look at some dimensions here. Over to the right, we have a bathtub that is built in as a platform tub, and then our large window in this bathroom, which will illuminate this room nicely all day long, is right there in front of the bathtub. And then over here, what we've done is we've separated a water closet by a frosted glass partition. I've seen this done in hotel rooms. It's actually pretty cool because it separates this space and makes it a little bit private, but you don't have to put in an entire wall to make this work out. And then also we have another window above the toilet in here. When you have this frosted glass in this other window, this space is going to be very bright all day long, no matter where this orientation is to outside. And then over here we have a pretty good sized shower with a seat. And that also has a glass partition around it to cordon that off. And you'll notice what we've done here in this plan is that we have a door that closes to the primary bedroom, and then you enter and then you go past the bathroom area and then you go into the walk-in closet. So you have this primary bath which acts as a dressing room for this house, and then the closet is sequestered off from the primary bathroom. There might be a little bit of an issue if you're in a humid climate, if you have your shower this close to the walk-in closet. But, fans could take care of that. You could take care of that by being sure that you keep the door closed to that primary closet most of the time or all the time, and only open it when you go in and out. It would help a little bit. But let's go in here and take a look at how this bathroom comes together. And you can see it's pretty practical. It's not huge. But we've got enough space to work with here and move around without a problem. And here we see what this space looks like, all finished out in a rendering. And you can see the big glassed-in shower here to the right, and there's a seat for it. And then here's our frosted glass that partitions off the water closet area. And our large window that faces the side yard, in this case, bathtub, 2 sinks. Here's another angle of this bathroom in a rendering, and you can see that you have a good spacious amount of countertop here, and with the 2 sinks that you have working for you. And also you can see that to the left you can see into the bedroom. Again, it's a modest sized space, but you've got really luxurious features for such a small overall floor plan to work with. So let's go back out to our primary bathroom model here and take some more views of it. I'm going to turn around a little bit here so you can see how the closet is positioned next to this bathroom area. I think this is a really good layout and works really well. I know that I've sold this plan and the people were very happy with it. So I want to go back out to the overall floor plan here. Just let's get a sense of where we are in this house. And you can see another feature of this is that when you go into that walk-in closet, you've got tons of hanging space in there. And of course, you've got also a small window at the end of it, which gives you daylight so you can see your clothes in there during the daytime. And then it has a door that opens into a laundry room. This setup here, people really like this access from the primary closet into this laundry room because, of course, you know, your dirty clothes are going to end up in here. Really close to the laundry room makes that extra convenient. So that layout works pretty well. Let's just go in and take a look at that a little bit closer again so that you can see that area. Now, also what I should do is show you the floor plan that we have for this. All right, so here we go. You can see the dimensions that we've used here. We've got almost a 7-foot long vanity, which is really spacious for a house of this size. Our bathtub is set into a space that is 3 feet deep and 5 foot 3 inches long. So we can get in a 5 foot by 32 inch undermount platform bathtub to make that work. And that's a plenty good sized tub. You can get a fairly deep one, be a very nice space to use. Then we have our water closet, and it's 3 feet wide by 5 feet long. You wouldn't want to go any smaller than that dimension, but that does work really well in this case, especially with that nice light, bright open area where we have that frosted glass partition wall that creates that space. And then our shower is almost 4.5 feet long. Then we've got a seat inside of that. So you have a place to put your leg up, sit down if you want to, use a spray nozzle. And then we have a glass enclosure that goes around that shower. Overall dimensions of the space are almost 13 feet. So we have 8 foot 3.5 inches in this direction. And keep in mind, the dimensions that you're seeing here are stud to stud dimensions. When I do floor plans, I lay them out stud to stud. So you need to take into account that you're going to have a 1/2 inch of drywall in addition to all of these dimensions here around this room. Sometimes you may have a 5/8 inch drywall in some cases. But that's what we've done here is shown it that way. So we've wound up with about, 100 square feet of bathroom here. Works just great. I'm showing a 30-inch wide door into this space, which gives you just a little bit more elbow room to get into that bathroom. I have the standard 28-inch by 80-inch door that goes into the closet. Probably could make that a 30-inch if we wanted to, but in this case, I thought I'd show you the two common door sizes that we have into bath areas. So let's go back to our floor plan here and come back out of this, go down. We'll close out this plan here, and then we'll go to our next example, which is the Brentwood model. All right, now let's go and open the plan up. Go in here, and again, if you've seen other videos that I've done, you'll be familiar with this plan. But let's zoom in on this primary bathroom that we have here. What we've got is a double vanity, typical. Some people don't like to have a double vanity, but I think it's best if you do it because usually there's going to be two people living in a space like this, and this double vanity works really well. Then over here we have a good sized shower. This is a pretty spacious shower, and we've added a seat inside of it and a shower niche that you see there on the right. And of course, we have a glass partition that creates the door that you go into to get into that shower. And then over here, we have a fairly large platform bathtub where I'm showing an undermount fixture. And then again, we have a very large window, which makes this space extra bright. You can always use a blind over that window to give you the privacy that you would need, but it faces the backyard of this house, so it doesn't face the side or the front or anything, so it should be fairly private anyway. And then, of course, we have our water closet. And what I like to do, as I showed you in the last plan, is I like to have windows in the water closet as well as the main part of the bathroom. It just makes the space that much more cheery and bright during the day. And let's come back out and take a look a little bit closer at how this came together. And you can see, here's our primary bedroom there that we're going into now. And you see to the left, there's that courtyard that this house has. All right. Here, let's go in and take a look at what this looks like from a perspective view. Here is a rendered view of that bathroom. You can see what I've done with this double vanity is I've made one long mirror go all the way across. I've done some under mirror lighting on the bottom of that to illuminate that really nice detail of the backsplash mosaic. What I've done above is I've created a light bar that gives you a nice wash of light, a very good broad area of light that gives you a way to see your face really well and your clothes as you're grooming yourself. And then you see the shower here back in the corner. Of course, you see the bathtub there on the right. And in a case where we have this vanity here, we've got space underneath the sinks that we have the doors for, and then we have two banks of drawers here. So when you have a nice long vanity like this, what I like to do is have two banks of drawers. That way each person has their own private bank of drawers. So let's take a look at another rendering of this bathroom. This is from inside the bathtub area, and you're looking back toward that shower there. You see there's a seat there you can barely see below. It's reflecting the window there, but it's a mosaic inside that shower, which I've shown here. You could tile that any way you wanted to, or you could use a solid piece of stone if you had that desire. And then over here you see again our double vanity, big mirror, lots of lighting that illuminates that whole space really nicely. So I think this is also a pretty luxurious bathroom. Now, here we have our floor plan of this bath area. And what I want you to see is I have this vanity as 8 feet long. And of course, I'm showing stud to stud dimensions, so that makes that 8'1". And then our shower is a good size 4 foot by 4'3" shower space. Then we have room for that seat here. Seat will usually be 14 or 15 inches deep. So you have plenty of space for your shower floor, and then you can sit down. Your nozzle is right here next to your seat. Really good layout. This also works really well if you want to make that a steam shower. You just have to make this glass go all the way to the ceiling and put in your equipment for your steam shower. In this case, we have this fireplace here that goes off the living room. You could probably fit in the equipment for the steam maker in that void there next to the fireplace. Kind of digressing here a little bit, but just another feature you could do with a house like this. And then you see we have a full 4 feet in width between the vanity and the bathtub area. So that's a nice roomy space for two people to maneuver around in. And then our bathtub platform is 6'7" long by 3'7.5" wide, which you could put in a tub as large as a 6 foot long by 42-inch wide, which is one of the largest bathtubs that you can get. And also you can make that the tub a little bit smaller, but keep the same space and have more platform area. You could also make this a freestanding tub if you wanted to, but I've shown it in a platform style for the purposes of this floor plan that I'm using here. And of course we have our water closet. Now our water closet is a little larger than a minimum required, but in a house like this and a little bit more luxury, you want to have a little bit more elbow room. So we have a 3'4" wide by 5'4" long water closet space with a 28-inch door going into it. And that works out very nicely. So I think this is a pretty luxurious bathroom for a house that's not really that large, 2,000 square feet, but it feels very spacious, roomy. You've got all the features you could want, but you're not taking up too much room of this floor plan with this bathroom area. Now let's also go back to our model, and we'll move around here a little bit just so you can get a better feel for what this space looks like in 3 dimensions. Here we go back to where we're looking at over that bathtub from our rendering that you saw a moment ago. You can see the features a little bit better because the model is more clear, and you can see into the shower head, the handle, the niche, the seat, of course the big vanity, the light fixture above it. Again, a really luxurious space for a house that's not that large. Let's come back out of this and just get an idea of where we are in the plan. You see their primary bedroom on the right. In this case, what we've done here is the walk-in closet for this bedroom is separated from that primary bath. This is kind of a toss-up. Some people like the closet right next to the bathroom or off the bathroom. Some people like them separated. And of course, when you separate it like this and you have a humid climate, this is a little more advantageous to keep that humidity from your bathroom out of your walk-in closet. So that's why I've shown this house plan with that option here. Okay, let's go and get out of this house plan here and close it off and move on to our third house plan, which is the Oceanside model. Again, I've done this plan, presented this plan in other videos. You might want to take a look at those when you get a chance. And then we'll go and open our plan here. This is a, as I mentioned, 4-bedroom, 4.5 bathroom house. Each bedroom is ensuite. Each bedroom has its own bathroom. Of course, the master bathroom, master bath area, master bedroom suite is this big primary bedroom, and then we have this large primary bath here. And in a moment, we'll take a closer look at some of the dimensions and you'll see how this works out. But you walk into this really big space and this long vanity with a window centered above a makeup table that's in the center of it, an actual vanity that you can use. And then the bathtub is floating in the middle of this large space. This takes up a good amount of room, but with the arrangement of how this is done, it works out pretty well and doesn't end up being too big. And I'll show you the dimensions in a minute. You can see that. Double vanity, extra space on those. The bathtub has a feature wall behind it that you see with the stone pasted on the wall and a book match to give you that drama that you sometimes want to see in these houses that are like this. This is a fairly luxurious house. Here is a pretty good sized shower. It's got a seat in it as well. And I don't show any glass right here. I do show it in the floor plan, but what I was thinking was this could be either left open, possibly, if that could work out. And you could tile all this wall, further out so that the water doesn't get on anything that it would ruin. But this is sort of an option in this case, and I left it off just to kind of talk about that option. Then we go into our water closet. Now, this water closet is a little unusual in that I had some space in this layout where there was a spot for some linen storage. And I could have given this over to the hallway area, but it worked out better to put this into this bathroom. That way you've got a water closet that's got all of this storage in it, that all the towels and all the things that you need for the bath area could be stored in. And it's tucked back and out of the way and makes kind of a good spot to store lots of stuff right off of this bathroom so that you can get to it very conveniently. So let's come back out over our floor plan and just take a little bit of a closer look at this primary suite area. Big bedroom, big sliding glass door onto its private covered porch. Then you can go into this bathroom. I'm showing a double door, which you wouldn't have to do, or you could leave a door off completely in this case. But I think it's good to be able to have a door that you can close off the bathroom to, because a lot of times, like the bed would be right here. And if somebody's in here, they're going to be making some noise. And if somebody is still trying to sleep or is already asleep, you're going to probably be disturbing them unless you can close the door for it. So again, kind of an optional thing to think about. Then we have our large walk-in closet for this big master suite. And what we've done here is we've placed the walk-in closet off of the primary bath as we did in that first plan that I showed you. And that works pretty well in this case because our shower is way over here. The bathtub is here. You're not really getting too much humidity right next to the door that goes into the closet. Also notice that I've showed a double door that opens into this closet. I like double doors because they fold kind of out of the way and stay out of the way. And you can open them inward as opposed to having a door that opens outward and swings and kind of hits this person at the sink there. Just another thought when you have these doors. And also this primary closet has a door that goes into this hallway, this service hallway, and then you'll see our laundry room is right there. Again, we've located our primary bedroom closet really close to the laundry room. That's where all the clothes are going to be going. It's good to have it right next to it. And that's why I did that. And also I used a sliding door here to keep that door from being in the way in the hallway and in the way when if it were to open into the closet. So that should give you some pretty good ideas of what you can do with these houses here. But let's go and take a look at our renderings of this bathroom. So as you can see, this really elegant space with this large floating bathtub, freestanding bathtub, with the faucet coming out of the wall, out of the stone, and the book match. This is a really elegant space. I think this is a really nice layout for, a semi-luxurious house. Again, I can show you in a moment what the dimensions are so you can see if this would work in something that you're laying out. But a pretty nice area. Not a huge window, but a window large enough that you have good daylight illumination throughout the space. And here's a view looking back over that bathtub toward the vanities. And you can see we have that small stool for the makeup table there in the center. Two vanities divided. That can be kind of nice for two people to have a very private, countertop space from each other. Sometimes that helps a little bit when somebody's a little more messy or somebody has more stuff and the other one wants it more clean. You have that kind of differentiation between the two people. And you can see in the distance back here, here's our double door that goes into that primary closet back there. So again, and on the left here, you see the seat that goes into the shower, and I'm not showing a shower door in this case, again. But you can see this is a pretty luxurious layout, a pretty good sized bathroom, going to be pretty comfortable for a couple of people to live in all the time. Now let's go and take a look at the floor plan for this and see what the dimensions are like. All right, notice that I've shown an oval tub in the plan, but there's a rectangular tub in the renderings that I showed you. You could use either. I was just using a freestanding tub oval in the floor plan just to show something. But I thought about that more when I was laying out the rendering, that I like the rectangular shape better. It looked better in that room than an oval did. So what do we have here? We have a dimension in left to right at 13 foot 4.5 inches. We have a dimension the other direction at 12 foot 8 inches. So that gives you an idea. We're looking at about 150 square feet of space for this bathroom. A little bit of extra space back there in that water closet where that linen is. And that's 3 foot 8 inches wide by 1 foot 8 inches deep. Plenty of space for lots of towels, sheets, toiletries, extra toilet paper, extra soaps. All of that stuff can be put back in there. And then, of course, you've got two big vanities, which have tons of space, under them, because each vanity has a bank of drawers in it and then a door underneath the sink. And also notice that each vanity space of itself is 4 foot 4, and then our vanity area makeup table is 4 foot long. Very spacious, very nice for a comfortable, luxurious house like this. And then, of course, our shower is a little over 6 feet long. Again, we have a seat. We have that 3 foot width, which is just about right. You wouldn't want to go any narrower than that on a house like this, on a big shower like this. And that gives us the 3 foot dimension that we need as minimum in our water closet as well. And then we have a longer length in this 6 foot length in this water closet, which makes that nice and spacious when you open that door. You're plenty of room here to get in, go to the linen cabinet without bumping into the edge of the toilet. Of course, I'm showing an elongated toilet, which, pretty much you want to use anymore. People hardly ever use the smaller toilets these days. But you can see we've got a really nice layout. Works really well. It's kind of cool. It's a little different than what you would expect. You can really dress it up nicely if you use some really nice materials like that wall of stone, marble, granite, whatever you did there. Just really a very cool space, I think. So going back to our plan here, let's close that out. Hopefully that gave you some ideas to think about the dimensions you want to use in a space. You can see none of these bathrooms are too big, but they're big enough that they're really kind of luxurious for the respective house that they're in. I think they are anyway. So hopefully that gives you some nice ideas, some good information to work with, and helps you think about how you can lay out bathrooms or use these plans. Contact me below in the description if you want to, and we can talk about that if you really like these layouts. Thanks for staying till the end. You're becoming a real home design pro. Please like this video and subscribe so you know when new content is posted. Watch this video next on Powder Rooms for more home design secrets.